This is a sandstorm from the Siberian plateau. At this moment, this fierce storm races at over 100 kilometers per hour towards the Ordos Plateau in the western Inner Mongolia. On the periphery of this sandstorm, a modest-looking herb clings tightly to the sandy soil, bravely reducing wind speed with its fragile form. This is licorice. Born in the wild and belonging to the wild, this plant has an innate yearning for freedom. For thousands of years, its gift to humanity has been endless warmth and sweetness. Licorice is one of the most utilized traditional Chinese herbs. Its roots and rhizomes are used in medicine. It gets its name from its sweet flavor. Among the 113 prescriptions recorded in Zhang Zhongjing's Treatise on cold damage, 70 include licorice. It ranks first in usage among all medicinal materials. Yet, licorice never overwhelms other ingredients. In prescriptions, even a minute amount is often used to significantly reduce the toxic side effects of various herbs, making it an ideal balancer among all herbal ingredients. Renowned physicians like Zhang Zhongjing and Licorice hailed it as a revered elder in herbs. Inner Mongolia's Hanjiang Banner, Ordos grassland, and the Kabuki Desert intersect here. At noon, the desert surface temperature nears 70 degrees Celsius. The wind and harsh sunlight make survival difficult for flora and fauna. Yet licorice blooms in the hottest month of July. Pushing through the corolla, the flower petals await their pollinators. From plant to medicine, each stage of blooming and fruiting faces countless challenges. As the grazing ban ends, the sheep have been waiting all spring, now rushing across the land. For the propagation of licorice, the sheep's voracious appetite pose a significant threat. Fortunately, they simply pass by. In its struggle against arid conditions, licorice accumulates secondary metabolites within itself. Secondary metabolites are not essential for the plant's growth, but enhance its immunity against harsh environments. Before reaching maturity, they reduce the threat of insects, viral invasions, and furthermore are key sources of important medicinal compounds. Tannins in licorice are a primary category among them. But for animals, tannins react with proteins in saliva to create a dry sensation, failing to satisfy their discerning palates. In the busy summer growing season, licorice manages to escape disaster. Additionally, roving sheep facilitate flower pollination. While they feast, pollination is achieved. Wool clinging to the calyx is the best evidence of successful pollination. A single plant responds to changing seasons, blooming anew each year. Yet its roots continue to grow underground through harsh winters and scorching summers. This is a root of licorice growing for about 20 years. All these interwoven roots before us come from one single plant. A year ago, Shou Haiyan discovered this root. While directing harvest by the canal, he and his friends spent 3 days to unearth it entirely.
When this seedling was dug up, it was estimated at 15 kilograms. 15 kilograms. Quite heavy to carry in my arms. In this industry for over 30 years, I've never seen this. Look at its thickness. Thicker than my forearm.
Licorice in cultivation fields usually has a growth cycle of about 3 years. Yet this 20-year-old root has sustained rich, stable medicinal components.
Especially this one. Floating herb. It has the best content. I've even tested it. This floating herb has an acid content of 1.5. And the glycoside content is over 3, nearly 4.
Approximately 410 million years ago, plants evolved to have roots. From then on, they embarked on a slow journey to conquer land. Learning to absorb and retain water became a new crucial challenge in evolution. At the Medicinal Plant Garden of Baotou Medical College, students, guided by teachers, are studying licorice's traits. Licorice here looks slightly different from wild licorice.
Licorice, in essence, can adjust the growth ratio between its above-ground part and its root. In the medicinal garden where water and nutrients are abundant, both the above-ground part and the root grow very well. On the surface, the above-ground part looks very tall. In the wild, however, when water and nutrients aren't as plentiful, it primarily grows its underground part first. The root grows robustly, while the above-ground part isn't as grandiose.
Licorice that grows in harsher natural conditions often has more potent and stable medicinal properties than those carefully nurtured in medicinal gardens. So what kind of growth environment is best for licorice to develop its medicinal properties?
This is the distribution map of licorice resources in China. In the 4th National Survey of TCM Resources, we conducted detailed statistics on both wild and cultivated resources for each medicinal material. In the Hulan Bir and Xilingal grassland regions, licorice isn't as prevalent, but in the semi-arid areas, such as Bayanur and Ordos, it is abundantly found. This aligns with licorice's sun-loving and drought-resistant traits.
Excavating about 10 centimeters down reveals moist sand. In the Kabuki Desert, where annual evaporation is nearly 10 times the rainfall, an immense underground reservoir exists. This is a secret known only to roots. Down, down, always down. 1 meter, 2 meters. This wild licorice root shows no sign of thinning. Seeking water is a lifelong quest for plants. Even in plain sight, it's just a knee-high grass. Underneath, it often extends 2 to 3 meters, exceeding 10 times its above-ground biomass. The extensive root systems efficiently absorb underground water. Interwoven lateral roots and underground stems, combined with nitrogen fixation by rhizobia, firmly anchor the sandy soil, preventing sand from encroaching inland. Licorice is the undisputed protector against desertification and creates a green oasis in the desert.
Licorice is a drought-resistant plant. Its distribution is wide-ranging, especially in grassland areas where it remains a dominant ecological species. For environmental protection, especially along desert margins, it is a valuable plant for preventing wind erosion and controlling sand dunes. In some grassland regions, To conserve grasslands, planting licorice is encouraged to allow natural growth and provide excellent protection. Thus it serves as both a medicinal herb and a natural food source, while also being an essential species for ecological protection.
Desert lizards emerge from their burrows, sensing the subtle change in the air. The rainy season is approaching. Licorice's preparations for drought can temporarily ease. After the rain, its leaves soften, losing their astringency. This reverted grass once more provides sustenance for sheep. Now, the seeds are mature, ingested along with leaves and stems by sheep, later expelled with their waste. As sheep traverse, the seeds become embedded in the soil, the thick seed husks softened by gastric acids, greatly enhancing germination rates. With the spring breeze, growth is vigorous.
That patch over there was planted by sheep.
In the Germplasm Bank at Baotou Medical College, thousands of seeds from different years and locations are preserved. Many endangered medicinal seeds are saved due to the establishment of this bank.
We have established a germplasm bank for Inner Mongolia at the school. It holds significant value for Inner Mongolia's medicinal resources. On one hand, preserving germplasm resources is crucial for the conservation of TCM resources. Furthermore, during seed entry into the bank, quality checks will be conducted, which is also crucial for preserving high-quality medicinal materials.
Its seed resembles a small kidney bean, is very hard and cannot be broken with teeth. Licorice seed is tiny yet tough, described by Northern Song scientist Shen Kuo in Dream Pool Essays on Medicine. It's smooth and leathery, like a pebble. The cross-section reveals the seed's thick, sturdy coat. A weapon of evolution for propagation.
Licorice is a plant, primarily living on the fringe of grasslands and deserts. So, mature licorice seed has a very thick, tough coat. On one hand, it prevents pest infestation, and on the other, it retains moisture and nutrients. Mature licorice seed can stay viable for over 10 years when stored on the ground. Its germination rate can still exceed 60%, indicating the crucial role of the seed coat.
How effective is the seed coat in protecting licorice seeds? Corrosion, carbonization, burning. Concentrated sulfuric acid has powerful dehydrating and corrosive properties. Most substances are altered instantly upon contact with it. Pouring the same concentrated sulfuric acid over licorice seeds in a petri dish. After standing for 5 minutes, the seeds remain unharmed. For a long time, concentrated sulfuric acid, much like a sheep's gastric juice, was used to soften seed coats and make the seeds easier to germinate. High temperature roasting. Mold invasion. As long as the conditions aren't right, these seeds, mere millimeters in diameter, remain quietly waiting. To ensure the vitality of banked seeds, Professor Li Minhui annually travels to various locations to collect licorice seeds for preservation in the germplasm bank. In the wild resource surveys, he often treks through the desert for several kilometers to find suitable plants for seed collection.
Every year, we have field tasks to collect seeds from wild licorice. We do this to refresh and replace seeds in our germplasm bank to ensure that licorice resources always stay within our grasp.
Glycyrrhiza urulensis from Zhongjing banner has a rosy skin, a smooth cross-section, and a sweet, fragrant aroma. It's rich in glycyrrhizic acid and glycyrrhizin. Being a perennial, its secondary metabolites continue to accumulate after 2 to 3 years. Its medicinal potency peaks. Wash away the impurities, once soaked and softened. The trimmed licorice, even in thickness, is sliced thickly and air-dried in a ventilated place. Licorice can be used raw or honey-fried. The honey stir-fry method often accompanies licorice preparation. Pour honey into a copper pot and heat it to boil. This process is called honey refining. The color deepens, and small bubbles form. At this point, add licorice and a suitable amount of boiled water, and evenly coat the licorice with honey. Once removed, spread it on bamboo mats to dry for 48 hours. The honey-fried licorice is now ready. This preparation further reduces the raw licorice's side effects. Adding honey helps control the heat and makes it more soothing, easier to enter the lung meridian. Raw, it cools and detoxifies. Honey-fried, it tonifies and boosts qi. TCM emphasizes compatibility. Each prescription distinguishes the roles of herbs as sovereign, minister, assistant, or envoy. First introduced in Shen Nong's Herbal Classic in the Han Dynasty. The sovereign addresses the main symptoms. The minister enhances the sovereign's function. The assistant treats secondary conditions. And the envoy directs herbs to the disease site or harmonizes the entire prescription. Licorice often serves as an envoy herb due to its harmonizing properties. The preparation of licorice is not to enhance its potency. On the contrary, it is to moderate its inherent properties, to better fulfill its role as an envoy herb. It harmonizes and guides, acting without competing. In Inner Mongolia, licorice is known as sweet root. Peeling off the bark reveals a hint of sweetness. Licorice's sweetness comes from glycyrrhizic acid. Despite its name, it's about 250 times sweeter than sucrose. Even in a 4,000 times diluted solution, its sweetness persists. Far away in Chaozhou, licorice is boiled with water and mixed with fruit slices. After briefly marinating, this refreshing dessert, licorice fruit, is ready to enjoy. Streets of Chaozhou are filled with this tangy and sweet treat that brings coolness from northern licorice to southern summers. As a herb that bridges medicine and cuisine, licorice not only serves medicinal purposes but also finds utility as a spice. Nowadays, people often grind licorice with star anise, cinnamon, and sayoko to enrich hot pot bases. Licorice's sweetness harmonizes flavors, tempers spiciness, masks bitterness, and softens the texture. It marries the spicy, numbing and savory flavors, permeates the broth and tantalizes the taste buds. Medicinal components in licorice are cooling and heat clearing. They can balance the warm nature of spices, alleviate excess heat, heal wounds, and inhibit inflammation, making it the perfect herbal companion for hot pots. Hot pot and wine spice up life. Beyond flavoring, licorice and its extracts find their places in diverse fields, offering health benefits. Licorice, cooling and soothing for the lungs, eases life's trials and tribulations. For thousands of years, amidst vibrant and free-spirited lives, from feast to tea, in moments of drinking and singing, the taste of sweetness lingers. Naadam, a grandiose gathering on the Mongolian grassland, is the most magnificent ethnic festival. After the harvest, in the harsh winter, farmers and herders bring hides and herbs to gather on the grassland. Horse racing, wrestling, archery, various thrilling competitions, and captivating song and dance all celebrate the same event, the harvest. This structure, built in the 1970s, served as a licorice hub. The half-stone wall behind it served the same purpose back in the Qing dynasty. In the Juqing period, merchants from Shaanxi ventured here and set up licorice trade houses. From then on, Liangwai licorice harvesting began in Hanjiang Banner, a tradition continuing to this day.
The stone wall I stand on is a historical relic. Since the Qing dynasty, merchants established licorice trading here and transported it to Baotou for nationwide distribution. As a result, Shibeigo became famously known as Licorice City.
Across the road stands an abul made of licorice roots. Though not large in size, it boasts a history of over 100 years. Legend has it that a licorice king root was once unearthed here. People built an abul on the site where the root was revered, stacking licorice roots as a prayer for a licorice harvest. Since Shibeigo is a highland, for travelers from afar, spotting the abul meant arrival. It was from here that Baotou traders began shipping licorice. Every year, people add new licorice roots to the outer layer, allowing this abul, completely made of licorice roots, to remain intact for over a century. In the Yellow River floodplain of northwestern Hanjiang Banner, thousands of acres of licorice have been cultivated. In October, Inner Mongolia experiences a brief autumn. Farmers must harvest licorice roots before the frost sets in. Simultaneously with the harvest, a new cycle of autumn planting begins. to maintain root integrity and avoid difficulties from deep rooting. Farmers decided to transplant the licorice.
This method of transplanting involves first digging a small trench, then placing the seedlings horizontally into the trench before covering them with soil. This approach facilitates easier harvesting.
The seeder moves slowly forward, burying licorice seedlings in the soil. In 3 years, a small seedling will transform into a potent medicine.
Licorice's growth habit requires minimal watering. Excess water reduces glycoside and acid content as well as its potency, in particular, from July to August, when root growth is prominent. Its medicinal properties consolidate. During this period, water must be controlled. This applies to seedlings. When they reach about 10 centimeters, they should not be overwatered. Otherwise, the roots won't grow as long.
Initially, licorice growing on desert edges was unsuited to easy, man-made environments. Modern cultivation involves water and fertilizer stress. Using minimal amounts, sometimes none at all, helps save costs, while providing a familiar growth environment for licorice, which facilitates medicinal concentration and creates a virtuous cycle.
Licorice quality depends on the species and the environment. There's a concept known as the adversity effect. Yield increases in favorable conditions, but quality improves in adversity. When water is abundant, it produces more starch-like substances, whereas glycyrrhizin and glycerizic acid are secondary metabolites. Secondary metabolites are compounds formed by plants to fight drought, pests, and other adversities. These are essentially plant antibodies, produced in challenging conditions. So, under natural conditions, against drought, cold, pests, and other external disturbances. In adversities, these medicinal compounds accumulate.
Deep in the desert, wild licorice continues to thrive. One plant by another, cluster by cluster, stretch by stretch, they take root and grow downward, firmly anchoring the desert. In the laboratory, Professor Li Minhui completes seed selection. This year's seeds are stored back in the germplasm bank. A grass plant, born of the desert, holds an untamed spirit against wind and sand, yet leaves the gentlest sweet taste for humanity. From the Eastern Han to present, licorice has long been one of China's most widely used medicinal herbs. With its presence in 90% of prescriptions, and its role in detoxifying and harmonizing other herbs, it is revered as the elder of herbs, renowned far and wide.